Hey, this is Jeff Nelson. I am a realtor with IXL Real Estate, Eastern Shore, and want to cover a topic today that I have. It's a subject that I cover quite often, usually several times a week when I talk to new clients. Most of the buyers I talk to don't live here, and they live in other parts of the country. And usually this topic of hurricanes in Alabama come up quite frequently during the week. So I wanted to cover this in a video. Now, full disclaimer, I am a realtor. I am not a meteorologist or a geographer or anything like that, but I do have some theories because it doesn't seem, and I actually have facts on some of this stuff, even though I'm not a meteorologist, I can Google. And I do have some facts I want to share with you, but I do have some thoughts. Alabama does not get hit as often as you might think by major hurricanes. So now we get brushes, we get the outer bands of hurricanes. We get some bad storms all throughout the year. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, if you move down here to Alabama on the Gulf Coast, since the very fact that we're a Gulf Coast state, we're going to have some pretty nasty storms. But so far as major hurricanes go and direct hits, I think you'd be surprised. Now, the reasoning, this is where I'm not a meteorologist comes from. This is just an observation. Take a look at this map. It looks like that for most hurricanes, they come up, they build up in the Gulf, and they come up usually around Florida, the tip of Florida down in the Keys, and they either go up on the eastern side of the United States, or I don't know if it's because of the geography of the United States, of how Florida goes so far down south. In Alabama's in Mobile area, our area is really tucked into the country there. But a lot of the hurricanes either go up the East Coast or they bounce off of Florida because, hurricanes die over land. So they tend to bounce over our area and hit Mississippi or Louisiana or even Texas. So that's just a theory. All I know is that we just don't get hit that often, and a lot of those places do. Now, Florida obviously is the main target. Florida gets hit an incredible amount of time, almost every time, with something. And that's why a lot of people are looking, so far as buying a home or condo, a lot of people are looking to Alabama because the insurance in Florida is getting outrageous. I'm hearing it all the time that it's almost unattainable to buy a house in Florida because insurance across the whole entire state has gone up so much. Insurance has gone up here a little, but nothing like Florida. So that's my idea on that. There are definite benefits to buying in Alabama versus Florida, just along those lines alone for insurance and hurricane purposes. But you also have the benefits of property taxes are lower and home prices are lower. So, but anyway, that's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about hurricanes in Alabama. So this is interesting fact. Now, I said that Alabama doesn't get hit that often, and that is the case. Now, we have had, since 2004, now this is 2024, February 2024, we have had 5 hurricanes in the last 20 years. And 2 of those hurricanes were like a category 1. They were on the small scale. Actually 3. But we've had 2 hurricanes that were significant that hit our area. One was Hurricane Sally in 2020. That was a category 2 when it hit ground, when it landed. And then in 2004, we had Ivan, and that was a category 3 when it made landfall. Of course, you have Katrina. It was a 1 when it was around us, but once it got to New Orleans, I believe it was a category 5. So Louisiana is the one who really got nailed by Katrina, as almost everybody knows. And then there was a small one in 2005 called Dennis. And then in 2020, right after Sally, I believe it was after Sally, it was called Zeta, and that was a very, very small hurricane. So we do have some storms, but we've only had two. Think about this. Here we are on the Gulf Coast, right on the Gulf. All right, Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, and then the cities where I live in Spanish Fort, all that's affected. We've only had two major hurricanes make landfall. So disclaimer is, yes, every year we could get a potential huge storm that hits our area. But I pulled this from hurricanecity.com. I did a lot of research on this, and trust me, there is a lot of detail on this. There's a lot of sites, a lot of government sites that have a lot of detail on this subject. And I'm just breezing over just so people like me can understand what I'm hoping to give you information like I would want to get it, just the tip of the iceberg type stuff. But hurricanecity.com said the average years between major hurricanes in Alabama is 16.89 years. Almost 17 years between major hurricanes, and that's going over the entire history of Alabama and hurricanes and recorded information. So the type of damage that we get, that we normally see, well, of course you got wind, and that affects, we have a lot of trees in our area, a lot of trees. And I think Sally, there was something like it downed, I heard a number like 10,000 trees or something like that, or it was some number like that. It was a lot of trees. But our area is very natural, have a large natural habitat. And so it's that was definitely a concern when it comes to big storms like that with the wind. And I'm apologizing in advance, my chihuahua is barking. I hope you can't hear it. So with that, with wind damage and trees going down, you're going to have power outage. I think our power was out for like 5 or 6 days where we were. That's about typical for the longest. They're usually right on top of it down here when it comes to power outages. And then flooding, Baldwin County, has its share of flooding, but it's mainly around the tributaries and rivers that go through the county. You definitely had some. You can see I putting a picture up here of the flooding that happened in Sally down by the beach. So yes, with the storm surge and flooding, with the rainfall, you're going to have flooding. So there's that. But we did have damage, of course. We even, some of the condos down at the beach, it took 2 or 3 years for some of the repairs to, finally get complete. But this is not something, historically, this is not something we have to deal with all the time. So anyway, I hope that helps, and I hope it gives you a little bit of comfort if you're thinking about buying a home or a condo in Lower Alabama in Baldwin County. It is a wonderful place to live. I actually am from Virginia Beach, and I don't know the number, but it just felt like we felt more hurricanes there than I have felt here when I grew up there in Virginia Beach. And it just seems like it seems like we got hit more by hurricanes up there than we do down here. And I've been here since 2012. So I didn't see Ivan, so I've only experienced Sally. So I've only experienced really one big hurricane since I've been here in 12 years. So anyway, that's all for now. Hope that helped. I hope it's good information. I am working hard on putting a lot of good information out, a lot of information about our area, not just real estate, even though that's what I do, but if I'm here to help you. If you have any questions or concerns, give me a ring or send me an email, send me a text. Talk to you guys later.